Struggling to earn 3 stars at Town Hall 14? Well, these are the 5 best attack strategies you need to use in 2026 to 3-star every base. Kicking us off at number 5 is the Super Witch Smash. This still utilizes the Fireball despite its 5-tile radius at this level. We want to start off with the Warden himself though. We also want to use invisibility spells over nearby defenses, the Fireball, and 2 Earthquake spells to snipe a given area in terms of a few defenses. This is all for funneling, so if you can get the Eagle Artillery like I did in this example, that's really nice. Otherwise, you want to lure over the Warden with the Super Witches, while on the other side, you are funneling with the Archer Queen. Since she's able to reach over walls, you really don't need to worry. This way you can have the Barbarian King, the Apprentice Warden, and the Super Witches and Big Boys work in. You also have the Troop Launcher to provide balloons to protect your healers, so while your Archer Queen and Ice Golem are staying on the outside and basically setting up good funneling, you have a jump spell to dive into the core alongside a Rage to power everything up as they work through and deal with the enemy CC, but you also have the Ice Block spell that you can use to mitigate a ton of damage and allow the healers to heal most of your troops and heroes up a lot. You also have the Royal Champion that can be used to cut off the funnel as you work a little bit in, so you can use your Barbarian King, Spiky Ball, and Earthquake Boots so they go in the right direction. Now here at Town Hall 14, you do have to deal with the Town Hall Poison, so an Ice Block here is great, especially as you push into it with a Rage spell, and with the Royal Champion, you can use the Frost Flake to freeze defenses like a single target Inferno. This is particularly great, especially if it locks on to something like the Barbarian King or Super Witches, and otherwise, for the most part, you can absolutely dominate through bases with this, so long as you are controlling the funneling, whether that be with the Royal Champion or with the Queen, the Fireball, etc. You just want to make sure that you are pathing right through the base with your Super Witches, keeping the healers alive, and that should allow you to get 3 stars against a lot of bases. Moving over to number 4, we have the Mass Super Hogs. This is particularly strong here at Town Hall 14, especially after the Life Gem buff. What we're going to start off with is simply a Royal Champion charge. This doesn't need to use the Rocket Spear, you can use the Frost Flake and the Electro Boots, and you'll get plenty of value, as you want to make sure that you're using your invisibility spells every 4 seconds. All you're doing with the Royal Champion charge here is setting up funneling. This is going to allow your heroes to get more value, so you want to use it in an area to set up your hero dive. This way you can recall the Royal Champion back into your army to be used with the Super Hogs. You do want to cut off the other side of your funnel, so Baby Dragon and Yeti is perfect in this situation, so you're able to actually use a Super Wall Breaker, your Barbarian King, Archer Queen, Ice Golem, and the Log Launcher to open up the walls. Typically though, I would actually recommend when you're using the Log Launcher to actually take a Earthquake spell. This will break open the walls slightly quicker since the Earthquake does a bit more damage to walls, and it can also damage buildings, allowing the Log Launcher to get even better value. Otherwise, as you work a little bit deeper into the core of the base, a Rage spell is perfect in this situation, and as you work a little bit deeper in, you can use your hero abilities like the Barbarian King, Spiky Ball, and Earthquake Boots to open everything up, and you've got the Queen with her Magic Mirror and the Action Figure. Otherwise, from here, you've gotten enough value and you control, so you can use your Super Hog Riders with the Royal Champion and the Grand Warden as you work around. Since you are running the Life Gem with this, they are getting way more HP, especially after the buff, allowing you to take a few heal spells in order to keep everything alive as you work around. A free spell is great, even the Frost Flake can be used in order to mitigate damage as you work towards the Town Hall. And if the Town Hall goes off, you obviously have the Eternal Tome. You can protect everything underneath that Eternal Tome for the most part, especially against the Town Hall Poison, and otherwise you should be completely set. The Super Hogs and the Super Riders will be able to work themselves around, whether that is in cleanup with the Super Riders along with the Wizards and the Headhunters, or just the Super Hogs all working together to clear the remaining defenses. Otherwise, it should be more than enough to easily get 3 stars at Town Hall 14. Now moving over to number 3, we have Electro Dragons, which are surprisingly strong, especially after their buff, but they're not as easy as you might think. You mainly want to start this off with funnel. E-Drag spammers don't usually funnel, so you want to start off with 2 to 3 Electro Dragons. A rage spell comes down to personal preference, and otherwise you should be able to clear one side of your funnel. Over on the other side, you're going to be using a few rocket balloons to snipe off any air defenses. This is going to really help you, but also using the giant arrow to snipe off any air defenses and sweepers, while having your Siege Barrack and Barbarian King to provide additional funneling. All of this is going to allow you to send in your Electro Dragons through the middle of the base. You have 2 win conditions in this certain situation, where you've got the Electro Dragons and you've got your heroes. As you work in, you should use the Eternal Tome and Healing Tome alongside the Rage spell to power everything up. The Electro Dragons, the Minion Prince, and realistically, as you dive a little bit deeper into the core, got totem spells to distract things like the scatter shots. Dark Orb can slow down a bunch of defenses, and realistically, you do not need your E-Drags to stay up for the entire attack. They can all die in the core, and you should still get a 3-star because you've cleared the area where your heroes are not going to be able to deal with. So the E-Drags in this situation are 1 win condition, but the other one is your heroes. They're the other win condition. So you will get a 3-star no matter what, since you're going to be able to clear as much of the core, and your heroes will be able to finish off the rest of the base since they can reach it all with relative ease. Moving over to number 2, we have the Super Bowler Smash, which is very strong already, but is even better with the Life Gem buff. Instead of running the Eternal Tome, we're running the Life Gem and the Rage Gem. This allows us to have better healing with the healers and more damage with the Super Bowlers, but we're also giving everything more HP, which is especially good for healers and for the Super Bowlers. Both of these equipment also have DPS increases for the Warden, so it allows us to still do a Warden Walk very effectively. So, alongside our Warden Walk here, we're running the Flame Flinger to clear out defenses on its own and set up funneling alongside the Warden, which is there to protect it from Expos and Mortars. Otherwise, we have a few different troops to cut off the funnel with something like a Baby Dragon, Valkyrie, and the Royal Champion, while the Super Bowlers work in with the King and the Royal and the Archer Queen. You have the Frost Flake to provide a little bit more support as you work in. A jump spell is great in this situation, alongside a rage spell to power up the damage of your Super Bowlers and increase the healing from the healers. You've got invisibility spells that you can use to protect your Super Bowlers a little bit better, but as you kind of work around, for the most part, the Super Bowlers are absolutely going to crush through most of the base. The Barbarian King has a Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots that you can use to open up back end of the base, and you can also have skeleton spells to distract the back end. This overall kind of gives you enough movement through, and with the Life Gem and the Rage Gem, you're not only protecting the healers, but you're also protecting the Super Bowlers even more and allowing them to still get more damage in. Otherwise, this is a fantastic strategy that will absolutely crush bases at Town Hall 14 with how strong Super Bowlers are. And moving over to number 1, we have Hydra. This is still very powerful, especially with 3 clone spells. We mainly need funneling, so we're going to use the Archer Queen with her giant arrow and action figure on one side to clear trash buildings and also snipe down any air defenses and sweepers, while on the other side we're using the Royal Champion to remove defenses early with her rocket spears, and the Electro Boots can clear trash buildings early on as well. This allows us to set up perfect funneling for our dragons, dragon riders, the Grand Warden, and the Minion Prince to work in. We are taking totem spells in this army, so we can utilize the Meteor Staff to greater effect while he stays behind most of our units. We can use the Dark Orb to slow everything down, and we can use the Battle Blimp after delaying it so we can use the Eternal Tome more effectively with it. We do have Lava Loon puppets with this one. You don't necessarily need to do that, but they are surprisingly strong after getting 3 Lava Loons. This allows us to clone up the Super Yetis or the Lava Loons if you would like, in order to get even more and just have a massive amount of troops move through. The Lava Loons are actually going to do plenty of work in this army, which is a little surprising, as you still have 2 of them with 1 tanking most of the Seeking Air Mines. This should allow your dragons to kind of move all around, and the extra tankage from the Lava Loons is absolutely great. This allows you to very easily 3-star